Hello, guys. Welcome to Software Testing Mentor and RCV Academy. Today, we are here for the mock interview of software testing professional. And the focus today will be more on the behavioral question and how behavioral questions can be handled when you are going for any software testing interview and how to tackle those sort of questions. So this video will talk about all of the key questions that are mostly asked for. And today I have with me Hamid Yaqub, who is based in United Kingdom and has been working in software testing industry for more than 4 years, almost 4.5 years. So welcome, Hamid Yaqub.
Yeah, thank you, Manish.
Cool. So, Hamid, I have your resume in front of me, and are you fine with this video going live on the YouTube channel?
Yes, I'm okay with that. Thank you.
Cool. All right. So, Hamid, as we had a chat, I had a look at your resume, and based on what all experience you bring, it's pretty impressive, and you have worked on a lot of tools and processes already. So today we'll be mostly focusing on the behavioral sort of questions, and then maybe later in another tutorial, another video, we can cover software testing sort of questions. So to start with, can you basically describe yourself in 5 words, or how your colleague will describe you?
Yeah, uh, I think they would say that I'm quite a responsible and dependable person, always on time, always ready to help, quite organized, and always meet my deadlines specifically.
Okay, cool. To add to that point, Hamid, the whole point of this, question is basically from the interviewer is to know, or they want to know how you understand yourself. Okay, whether you understand what you can do, or what your positive side are, what exactly you can basically do. Right. So words, there are a lot of words that you can use in this case, and a lot of word that you should avoid using those, because many words are overused. So if somebody is asking like describe yourself in 5 words, you have made a note of it, and you have made it crisp and short, that you are a dependable person, and you have used those words. But what I'll do is, as I'll send you a list, and I'll also post in the description section of the words you should use. And then the words that you are going to use, make sure that you back those words. So if they ask further, can you explain me why you used the word dependable? So you need to have something behind those words to basically support whatever you have said.
Yeah.
All right. So
Okay.
in terms of positive words, you can use confident, you can use enthusiastic, honest, leader, if you have led the team, right? So and leadership is not just about the role; it's basically even a fresher can be a leader, right? So it's basically
Yeah.
the attitude and how you look overall things. Okay, so these are like some words. So there is a long list of words that I'll post, that you can use, and then the words that you should avoid, like overused words, will be like team player. Okay, so if you're using team player, it's good, but you need to come up with example if somebody cross question or asks about that. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Thank
So
you.
do you agree on that? All good? Any? Okay, cool.
Yes.
So going to the next question. So basically, why do you want to work for us, or why do you want to work for an organization that you are, looking for?
Well, I believe that this my skills and experience are a perfect match for this role, and I consider this as an opportunity, to showcase all my skills to improve the QA processes, and also a great platform, to learn further and enhance my testing skills.
All right. So this is, good. Um, to add to that, why this question is basically asked, you need to understand that first. So basically, the organization wants to know what value you will be able to bring to the organization, and they also want to, when they ask this question, they also want to check whether you have done your, a bit of research about the role, about the organization, and then how your skill sets are going to match to that particular role and overall progress the, the overall, like project or the organization's goals, vision, and mission. All right, so this is the whole point of this particular question. um, and in this particular case, you need to make sure, say for example, you are going for a role, make sure you understand the, required capabilities that are, required for that particular role. You understand what organization vision and mission are. So read a little bit, on their website, and then try to correlate. So say for example, you have already worked in Salesforce, okay, and you are going for a Salesforce interview. So you can, add that particular, prior things that you have done as part of your role, and explain them that how your prior experience will add benefit to them, right? And how that particular organization is being, considered in the market as a leader, right? So those sort of things you need to ensure that you cover. All right. And you covered that, point. The good point is that, you believe that you have the knowledge to succeed in that particular role, and your knowledge will basically help you to succeed in the role and overall in the organization. So it is a win-win situation for you and the organization, right? So this is the key point that you should definitely mention, which you have already mentioned, which is good. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
All right. So going back to the next question. So what changes could you bring to the role that you are coming in, or overall, company as such?
I believe that I will add a value to this role by using all my experience. I'll bring a new enthusiasm, determination, and a continuous improvement in the long term.
Hmm. Okay.
Mm,
So here you have to use basically, the star method. So star method is something you have to analyze the situation. So situation, then task, and then action, and then result. Okay. So when somebody asks what changes could you bring to the role, or what value could you bring to the role, you have to basically go prior, go to your, prior work that you have done, and apply the star principle. So come up with any situation where you as a person had, analyzed the situation, and then defined what tasks that need to be done. Okay, so second step. So and there was a situation, say for example, the situation was to refine a process, or the process was a bit heavy, and the situation was that there was a lot of delay and back and forth. Okay, so what you did to that particular situation to add more value in your prior organization. So you analyzed the situation, and you figured out that the overall testing process was very, heavy, and there was a lot of back and forth, a lot of approval process that was required. So what I did is I analyzed the situation, and then I came up with the tasks. So what tasks you came up with, right? The real tasks, whatever you thought of. Say for example, I came up with, a lightweight process, or I defined a new process as such, within, a Jira workflow, or whatever process is being followed. Then those tasks I got implemented, and what those tasks helped overall is to reduce the back and forth that used to happen in the approval process or any process. So this is, like a principle that you can apply. So these four things: situation, task, action, and result. So with this question, make sure that you get at least, one or two prior examples from your prior projects, work on those, and you need to explain those examples with this principle, right? So this was the situation. This is what I did. These are the tasks I followed, and this was the outcome, right? So everybody wants the outcome, and when you go to the organization, they look for what outcome you have brought in with the actions that you took, right? Is it clear?
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So basically, any past accomplishments, it shouldn't be like a big thing. Anything that made a difference in your prior project, right? Any work that you have done, you need to basically sell it and sell yourself. Okay. So even a minute improvement in any of the process is an
Yeah.
achievement, and that brings a lot of value to the organization. So, you just mentioned that these are the accomplishments that I did in the prior organizations, and because this role is in the similar lines, and I'm pretty sure whatever I did in the previous organization, I'll bring a lot of value in terms of what I already did, and then in terms of whatever experience I have gained till now in your current process. I'll do similar stuff, or in your tools that you're using, and I'll utilize those sort of techniques to make sure that there is improvement in cost saving or time saving. So these sort of words you should use, right? So cost saving, time saving, right? is
Yeah.
it is it
Okay.
uh, clear?
Yes.
You
Yeah. It's
agree
quite
with
clear.
that?
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. So coming to the next question, which is basically, how do you deal with frustration at work? Very common question, and everyone deals with it. So, how do you deal with frustration at work?
Uh, I think I do mostly take regular breaks, away from work, go for a little walk, or just talk to a buddy on a different topic, just to freshen up yourself, and then restart, recoup your energy, and then try to focus after like a little break. That really helps.
Absolutely. So, to the point, you have covered, like exactly what you should be doing in the stressful situation, and what you can, also add something there. Yes, I agree that not all days are same, and there are days
Yeah.
when you are not, or there has been, a situation or an incident wherein you might be stressed. So whatever you have covered, you take a break, you think a little bit, you take deep breath, you go for a walk, and then you come back and make sure you, so say for example there was a situation which caused stress to you, right? So do not react to that particular situation then and there. Okay, so
Mm.
I do not react to the situation. Basically, I analyze the situation, and how I analyze is basically I take a break, I go for a walk. If there is something which has caused stress to me in an organization, I'll go for a walk, I'll do a bit of
Mm.
deep breathing, I'll come back to my desk, and then once I'm normal, I'll have a communication with a person, or with any, say for example there is a person from whom I had this which caused a stressful situation. So I'll have a quiet and calm conversation with him. We'll try to understand their perspective. Okay, so it's never about like you'll have a conversation to confront someone. It's basically to have a conversation to understand their perspective. Maybe they didn't mean to put yourself in stress, right? So
Mm.
they might not have realized that. So that's how you handle these situations, right? So couple of things you can, you already mentioned, like
Yeah. Okay.
deep
And to
breathing, taking
extend
breaks, going
further
out for
in this,
walk, listening.
question, like if there, what frustrates you at work? It could be like I normally say like
What frustrates you?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I could normally give example, of when there is sometimes it's delay uncontrollable due to uncontrollable factors, or there's no response from the other side, then it could frustrate you. But, don't know if you could add anything more in this.
Absolutely. So never. So yes, we'll cover that point as well. So never put any point in frustration that is negative as such on your part. Okay, so what frustrates you? There could be many reasons. So there could be like somebody, whatever points you mention are the best points basically. So say for example, I'm not getting respond, and the timeline is getting near. So it puts me under pressure that I have to meet the timeline, but I'm not getting response from the other person. So this is basically not negative as such, right? It's basically positive for an organization. An organization is looking for the positive aspect, what positivity you can bring to them, right? So it's good for them that you get frustrated at times when there are delays in getting the response, because those delays are not making you to complete the work, right? So that's a good point. And to that point, what you can just add, these are couple of situations. And what I do is I basically like have a clear conversation with the people who are delaying the work, or a calm conversation, and understand their perspective why things are getting delayed, and have a conversation with my leader or manager in that particular case. So this is basically like a good answer. So whenever they ask for behavioral questions, or you shouldn't be fake at all, right? So whatever you are. Okay. And um, there are a negative and positive aspect in every human being, right? So we are all human beings. Now how
Yeah.
we deal our negative aspects is what the organization wants to understand, that yes, there are negatives in me as well, in you as well, in everyone there are negative things. But then how we handle those, right? And you have answered that very well, that you take break and you get frustrated because of these things. So everyone gets frustrated, everyone gets angry. These are like the, every human being.
Sometimes you could get
So
frustrated by
yeah,
traffic.
so we'll yeah, yeah, but you can't do anything about it, right?
Yeah,
So in
out of
that
control.
particular case, you how you handle yourself is what organization is more interested in,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
All right, so we'll move next. Okay, so give me an example when you have had an impact or led any project.
Well, I didn't have the opportunity yet to lead the project, but I always enjoy taking responsibility, and always I always own my work. So a little example could be like in my previous role, there was no test management tool, but I did recommend it, test rail. Did a little presentation on that, and everyone was convinced that it's quite a useful tool, not only for managing our testing activities, but also to overall improve the whole test process, and also for the reporting purposes. So I believe that was one of the biggest change that I've brought in my last role, and I do really feel proud about.
Excellent. So leadership is not just about leading people. Whatever you did is also a leadership skill. All right. And with this question, if somebody asks when you had an impact or when you led the team, right? What they want to understand is what are your leadership skills? Maybe they want to hire you to for a leadership
Mhm.
role, right? Or you know, couple of months down the line, or a year down the line, they want to see yourself in a leadership role. So whatever example you gave is a leadership example. It doesn't matter whether you led the team or you didn't lead the team, right? But it's a clear leadership example that yes, I mean, I didn't manage people, so I was the only person in the project, but my I did lead the overall project forefront, and because there was no test management tool at all, it was a big, you know, problem to maintain the test cases on in the Excel sheet, and there was a lot of, you know, delay and mismanagement because of that. So I utilized whatever skills I had. I had, you know, like tool skills, test management tool skills. So I proposed this particular, you know, tool, and this overall process helped to reduce the overall timeline and the cycle and the mismanagement of the test documentation. Don't say no that I haven't done, right? Because leadership, people management is different thing, right? So that's another leadership role. But leading about making something better within the organization is similar to what, you know, you will do with the people management. To
Yeah.
motivate a team, similar stuff to influence people within your team, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
So in case, say for example, you know, you have done people management, you can add another example. I mean, if you have done people management, you can definitely add an example like, you know, there was a team, you know, maybe, even if it is, you know, like one or two people, then how you manage the overall project work within those two, three people, how you took the initiative. Okay. So here in your case, you explained that you took the initiative and you improved the overall process, right? That's a leadership quality, and that is what organization will be looking for when they ask for this question. If you upfront say no, and then you are explaining that I have done this thing, which directly correlates to your leadership skills, right? So many times we don't realize that whatever we are doing in our day-to-day activities, actually the leadership activities that we do in our even test analyst or normal roles. Okay.
Yeah. That's good.
Any questions on that?
No, I think that's fine. I mean, if whatever change, even if it's a little change we have brought, that is a sort of example of leadership. I mean, you have the ability to convince the people, and
Exactly.
also,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Absolutely right. So it's not about like you are leader only when you have two or three people or test. You are managing only 10 test analysts within your team, right? You are showcasing a leadership skill when you are communicating with the other stakeholders, convincing them to basically, you know, this is something not correct, this process is heavy, this type of documentation or the way we do it is not correct, we should change it, right? So you are showcasing this leadership skill, and you should mention this as part of this question.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. So going to the next question. So what's, you know, a good work environment for you, if I ask about?
I believe where there's a clear and good communication and coordination between the team. Uh, there should be you know, a learning atmosphere, and uh, there are like an organization is always, you know, looking to for the growth and development of their employees, which benefits either side, both the employees and the organization. And this should be some like social activities as well. And uh, yeah, and I would prefer a sort of a flat management system. You know, there should be not long delays between the decisions. I think that makes a good working environment.
Right. Okay. Good. So good points there. With this sort of question, whatever you have covered is actually, you know, what needs to be covered. Just a couple of more points there that I'll add. So psychological safety is something, you know, you can add to that, and I'll explain, you know, why psychological safety is important in any organization that you should be looking for a job, right? And if you are not getting psychological safety in an organization, I would highly recommend stay away from those organizations. There are thousands and thousands of places where you can, which will treat you better, and you will get work, right? So psychological safety is the term when, say for example, you are working in a team and you know, put something or you raise your voice against something, some wrongdoing. right? Just say, for example, within the team, something is not going right, or there is a manipulation in the test results and those sort of thing, and you raise your voice to the higher management or your manager, you should be feeling safe that you can put your input, you can raise your voice, you can, provide your thoughts on any stuff that's going on within the organization, and you won't be penalized. So that's what psychological safety is, and that's the first and foremost thing you should be, looking for in any organization. And organization is a good organization when they respect your thoughts, your views, because when they respect your thoughts and views, and you will be, speaking up in any wrongdoings, then that will progress the organization as well as you. Okay, so together. So that's the first thing, you can add that. Then you have already mentioned about the, grow learning culture, team is, cooperative. So all those things, if there is a psychological safety, by default all those things will anyways be there, right?
Yeah.
So couple of things, just, like 3-4 points that you have mentioned, just mention that. And do not go into a lot many detail, not required to cover, too many points there, just 3-4 points, and just elaborate a little bit, right? So you do not drag it a lot. And when somebody, asks like psychological safety or any term that you have explained, then you can, elaborate it a little bit and explain that. And you can also mention that good organization or these things are important because it will enhance, my ability to bring value to you, right? If I'm not allowed to speak up or provide my thoughts in a particular situation, I can't add value to the
Mm.
organization, and it won't benefit mutually to both of us.
Yeah.
Any comment on that?
No, I think that's fine. Yeah, that was a really important point. Psychological safety. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So what, at last with this, what you can mention is, with overall, a good work environment or, good organization, whatever points you have covered, at last you can mention all these things are important because this will improve productivity, morale, collaboration, and innovation, right? You can note it down, like
Mm.
productivity, morale, collaboration, and innovation. Make sure you understand these, words if somebody, asks, or you want to, like elaborate a little bit. So pretty simple words, but they basically, like help you to explain whatever expertise you bring in,
Yeah.
right? If you are happy within the organization, you collaborate with people, there will be innovation, right? There will be higher productivity, right? So at last, you can just add this particular line. All
Yeah.
right.
Obviously, if you're
Any
not
questions on
satisfied
that one?
in your job, you can't give good results. Your efficiency won't be that if you're not like properly heard, or you feel you are not valued in the team.
Yeah. Okay. So moving to the next question, what are your weaknesses?
Uh, I believe sometime I do overthink maybe, and I find it hard sometimes to like switch off. I always keep thinking about the project or any other stuff which is happening during the day. So it's not easy for me to switch off. Sometimes I go very deep into the detail of the things which may not be required even. Uh, or I want to, you know, learn about everything, and but gradually I realized that it's not possible. I mean, you have to focus on certain specific issues to improve your knowledge and get your expertise.
Absolutely. Yeah. So good points there. So when when people ask this question, what they want to listen is any of the weaknesses that you have, how you are tackling those. So you have mentioned about the weaknesses, but then you have to add that as a person, you are aware of your weaknesses, what you do about those.
Mhm.
Okay. So being aware is the first thing. And once you become aware that these are my weaknesses, you have to come up with the solution, right? So that's what organization is looking for. When somebody asks this question, it's not just about, yeah, these are my weaknesses and that's it. You have to, explain, these are my weaknesses, what I'm doing for these, along with the weaknesses, right?
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
So
Thank you.
can you think of, maybe rephrasing the same answer that you have given, and can you explain whatever weaknesses you have just told, how you will handle those?
Uh, the first one, if I'd say, it's sometimes a bit hard for me to switch off from what I've been doing during the day about the project. Is normally I do make sure that I don't look into my emails or into my official like phone or laptop once the office hours are done. Try to relax and spend time in some social activities that's free up your mind and improves your productivity and efficiency and gets you ready for the next day. And uh, and then I was doing a lot of tasks at one time, a sort of a multitasking, and I gradually realized that it doesn't help to improve the quality of my work. So I just started to focus on the few or the most important activities which I have to do during the day.
Yeah. So you basically, how you tackle that situation, you can add that I prepared a list, basically just, like a notepad, and I prioritize, I noted down all the tasks that I need to basically do, and I started practicing that. So I am more productive now because I have planned this stuff even in the simple, notepad format, and now I can, churn or, do more work same day. So that's how you are tackling. So the second version of your answer is much better as the first, as compared to the first version, right? Because you
Yeah.
explained your weaknesses and then how you are tackling those, right? So that's what interviewer is basically looking for in this case. Okay.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
All right. So next question, and the last question for this interview. So what motivates you at work?
Uh, I believe the deadlines of my projects, they always motivates me and keeps me do my work with more zeal and zest. And also, yeah, specifically, I like those projects which have like a sort of tight deadlines that always keeps me on my edge, and I do perform better, I believe, in those situations. Uh, and yeah, and the projects where there is something new to learn, where you have to do some sort of research and or to get help from your other colleagues. I enjoy like doing those sort of projects, exploring new things, and then working.
Right. Okay. So you mentioned about the deadlines keep you motivated. So if you ask me, I would take that negative. Basically, I'm not sure. This is my personal opinion. I would take it a bit negative that the deadlines keep you motivated. I'm not sure, how interviewer will take it, but say for example, in this particular case, what my view would be, basically say some motivation is something which is not, related to, timeline or anything as such. It's basically a bigger goal as such. This is my, what keeps me motivated to to keep producing, more videos and more tutorials as such.
Mhm.
So from testing point of view, I have been in testing. So let me basically explain this motivation, why I am into software testing. So my motivation to be in software testing is that I like quality products. When I go to buy something, I like quality applications when it comes to software, and I want to ensure that whatever work I'm doing as part of the quality person or automation person, I want to ensure that the quality that I like is being available to other person for the software in which I'm part of, or for the team which I'm part of, right? So that's my motivation. And
Mm.
how I keep that motivation is basically I keep learning. So the second part you mentioned, right? I keep learning new stuff. I try to find new ways to automate the manual work and expedite the work so that I get more time to do a lot more testing and give a better quality product, which is more usable and user friendly to the customer. So that's basically my version of it. So it's at last basically, see, I mean, it all depends, like what a person in front of you is,
Yeah,
perceiving what you are saying, right? So second part of your answer, like learning things and all, is all good. But the first part is something which I personally won't be, or I won't be happy to listen about. Okay.
yeah. It could vary
So
from
when it comes to motivation, it has to be really, something really big that
intrinsic.
motivates you to be in. Yeah, it has to be, like if you are in software testing, there has to be some sort of passion, right? It's not just about, paychecks and money, right?
Yeah,
So it has to be something, paychecks and money. There are lots and lots of other ways to earn that, right?
that's right. Yeah, thank you.
So yeah, just give it a thought, and maybe you can browse around a little bit on the motivation. And it's not about googling around and browsing around. It's basically all these questions. When they ask, there is a purpose behind this. The purpose is how you know yourself, right? Who you are, and how. So whenever you sit quietly, do you think about yourself? Do you think like 10 years down the line you will be in the similar role, or this is something you want to do, you are passionate about, right? Passion word, when you're using, you have to be really passionate about, right? When I use like software testing automation, I'm passionate about, I can showcase that from the work I do within my organization, outside of my organization, right? So that's one thing. Other feedback for you is, the first thing is, like eye contact with the interviewer whenever you're talking to somebody who is asking the question. So I believe this is, online thing. That's a bit difficult thing, but try to maintain the eye contact, um, and smile a little bit, a little, so it lightens up yourself, and it lightens up the overall environment, and you'll be more, confident when you answer these questions. I find that you are, well prepared basically, a little bit things in terms of, how you will tackle these sort of situations. But overall, it's all good.
Yeah, thank you. One last point before we go. Uh, there was a question I could remember that how do you deal with the disagreements? Like if you disagree with some members of the team, how do you handle this situation? So, what could be the best answer for this?
So disagreements are not uncommon, right? So when there is a disagreement within the team, it's a good thing, right? So when I put my point, somebody else might disagree, and somebody else putting their point, I might disagree. How you tackle that situation is the key thing. So here, what you can answer is, in sort of in any disagreement situations, the open conversation or communication within the team or with the person on the disagreements. Okay, so you
Mhm.
have to have that open conversation, one-to-one conversation, or within the team. What are the key points on which there is a disagreement? And if there is a disagreement, what is the basis of that disagreement? Right. So if I disagree on something, I should have a basis to that. It's not just about, I don't like you and I'll
Yeah,
disagree to every point, right? So it's not how mature team works or a mature person within the organization will work. Okay.
Mm.
So as a mature person, whenever you are going for an interview, you have to make sure that you portray yourself as a mature person, right? And when you are already experienced, you are a mature person, you need to have that clear conversation and come up to the points why the disagreement is there, right? And then figure out, okay, this person has this perspective and I have this perspective. Okay. And then you will be able to, like, realize that maybe the other person's perspective is correct and mine is not correct, and maybe my perspective is correct and other person's perspective is not correct. So in case of disagreements, communication is the key. You communicate, you clarify with the person with whom you have disagreements and why you have disagreement. Why is very important. Once you understand why, you will be able to sort out or come up to a consensus that yes, let's agree on these points. And nowadays there are a lot of disagreements, like everyone follows Scrum. So in sprint
Yeah,
planning, somebody has, like 3 story points and somebody gives 8 story points, and those are the points where you basically handle disagreements in every sprint planning, right?
yeah, that's right. Yeah, or there should be some mutual grounds of
Is
understanding.
that clear? I mean, you'll be able to.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah,
Yeah, communication
yeah.
is the key in this
So
regard. Yeah,
communicate, yes, yeah, and understanding why the disagreement is there, and then basically, drilling it out and coming up at consensus.
yeah, cool. Okay, thank you very much.
All right, cool. So thank you, Hamid. It was really nice talking to you, and we'll connect again sometime to cover the software testing, the core testing questions, and for the key principles, because you have a very strong resume. You have been working a lot of organizations there in UK, so it will really help other members to get your expertise and how you will handle software testing interviews. All right.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you very much. Yeah,
Cool. Thank you, Amit. Have a good day.
yeah. You too. Have a nice one. Thank you. Bye.